This tutorial covers the basics of using ServiceFactor and navigating around the system. When you first log into ServiceFactor, you will typically start at the dashboard. There is a menu on the left-hand side of the screen for navigating to different modules. You can expand the menu to show the modules associated with each icon by clicking the hamburger icon at the top of the list. Hovering your mouse pointer over the menu option, whether it is expanded or not, will show you a tooltip as to what module the icon represents. When clicking on one of the menu options, you will be taken to the search screen for the particular module. In the search screen, you will have various tabs for displaying different information. For example, in the customer list, there is a tab for all customers, contract or service agreement customers, and non-contract customers. You can use the search field to search based on various columns you see on the screen. In the customer file, you can search by the name, address, phone number, or email field. You can search for records based on any of the information displayed. For example, if you only remember that the customer lived on a road by the name of Inverness, you can type that in the search field and it will display any records that match. Many of the search screens will have additional filters that you can use to narrow the search even further. Clicking the filter icon will allow you to further narrow down your data, such as by a particular zip code. Even if you have applied an advanced filter, you can still use the main search field to further refine your search. Any filters that have been applied will appear at the top of the screen. Clicking the Clear All link will clear all of the filters and display all records again. You will notice in the list there are various hyperlinks that will drill into the files. If you click on one of the links, you will be taken to that record. If you want to access a different database, simply click the database you would like to access from the main menu on the left. For example, if you want to access the equipment files, click the Equipment menu icon. On most of the lists, you will have the option to print or export the list by clicking the appropriate option at the top of the screen. When printing or exporting the list, the option to open it will appear at the bottom of the screen. Clicking the option will open the report or export file. If exporting the file, you will need to have Microsoft Excel. If you need to access the various setup files, click the settings icon at the top of the screen. This will display a list of the setup files based on various categories. If you want to access a setup file, click on the setup file desired and you will see a list of the existing records. If you want to add a new record, click the Add button at the top of the screen. If you want to modify a record, click the Edit icon on the right-hand side of the list to access the record. Once you have added or modified the appropriate record, click Save, and you will be taken back to the original list. Note, if you are using QuickBooks, some of the setup records will need to be added in QuickBooks and synced back to ServiceFactor. For example, if you want to add a new General Ledger class, you need to add it in QuickBooks and click the QB Sync button in the class listing. This will pull the classes from QuickBooks and add them to ServiceFactor if they are not already there. If the Add button is grayed out on a setup screen and there is a QB Sync button, this is your indication that the record needs to be added in QuickBooks, not ServiceFactor. When you've finished working in ServiceFactor and are ready to log out, click your username at the top right-hand side of the screen and choose Log Out. Note, if you are currently logged into ServiceFactor on a different device and you try to log in on a new device, you will get a warning that you are logged in on a different device, and if you proceed, any unsaved records on your original device will be lost. Therefore, it is always a good idea to log out of ServiceFactor whenever you are finished working.